One of LA's most prominent music and community figures is now facing serious criminal charges.
That's right. Federal authorities say Eugene Big U Henley led a violent criminal enterprise responsible for murder, extortion, and fraud.
Homie, they killed Nip too. Let's not forget, homie, they killed Nipsey Hussle. Nip and Big U got into it. Big U hit Nip daddy across the head with a bat.
Justice for Nip.
Your boy would have been there like, yeah,
You did.
So by now everyone already knows that Big U and his infamous crew are behind bars, but it looks like Nipsey Hussle might finally be getting the justice he deserves.
Well, within the last 20 minutes, the FBI announcing that man Eugene Henley Jr., aka Big U, is now in custody.
See, Big U had a serious reputation for being a control freak who wanted Nipsey under his thumb, but Nipsey wasn't the type to let anyone call the shots. Plus, Big U was known for extorting rappers left and right, and Nipsey wasn't shy about calling him out on it.
Shit, I can't. So you just refusing to pay your bill?
Yeah, I'm gonna pay you. I'm just not gonna allow you to videotape me as I pay you.
Things got so heated that Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, even had a major fallout with Big U, and let's just say they're not exactly on good terms.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother weren't the best of friends.
But here's where it gets interesting. Nipsey was all about uniting rival gangs, trying to bring peace between the Bloods and the Crips.
He can come to our hood. He's a Blood. He's from Pyro. He can come to the 60s. I can go over there. I've been over there with my jewelry on and my being myself, and they, they respect it. They love it. I was unheard of. You couldn't do that. Right. So it's different right now. Not to say it's like a gang treaty or peace treaty. It's not that, but they know we pushing for the city. Right. So, the streets behind it and they respect it.
But apparently that didn't sit well with Big U's agenda, and then suddenly Nipsey was killed, and the rumor mill went into overdrive. Now that the news of Big U's arrest is out, social media is buzzing, and people are finally seeing through his whole act. Let's break it down.
There's talk about Big U that he was involved in Nipsey Hussle's death. I mean, have you seen any proof that would confirm that?
Being over and growing up in that area, I'm gonna tell you guys this. He definitely has something to do with that. Wow. And justice for Nipsey.
Big U's case. Federal authorities just dropped a bombshell case, charging more than a dozen members and associates of the Rollin' 60s Crips, including Eugene Big U Henley, with a long list of serious crimes. Henley, who has played a big role in launching Nipsey Hussle's career, is being accused of running a full-blown mafia-like operation that allegedly involved extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and even murder.
Federal investigators now say he ran what they're calling a mafia-like organization responsible for serious crimes across LA.
After years of investigation, the feds claim Henley was behind the brutal kidnapping and execution of a young rapper, allegedly over some perceived disrespect, and dumping his body in the Las Vegas desert. He's also accused of ordering the robbery of an unlicensed marijuana dispensary in LA after it stopped paying extortion money. But it doesn't stop there. Henley allegedly scammed businesses, donors, athletes, and celebrities, including NBA stars Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal, by convincing them to donate to his charities, only to allegedly funnel the money into his personal accounts.
Henley and his associates allegedly extorted professional athletes and musicians, including NBA star Draymond Green and Lakers legend Shaquille O'Neal, persuading them to donate to his charities and later allegedly transferring the money to his personal bank accounts.
Authorities also say he took advantage of the LA mayor's Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program, pocketing funds meant for community research. His nonprofit, Developing Options, reportedly received $2.35 million from the city over a 5-year span.
He used that goodwill to benefit himself. He diverted money from that charity and lined his own pockets with it.
In response, a spokesperson for LA, Mayor Karen Bass, said the city has zero tolerance for fraud and has ramped up oversight of GRYD programs in recent years. They insisted that while the complaint describes a sophisticated scheme to bypass oversight, it doesn't reflect the overall impact of the program, which has helped cut gang-related violence citywide. Before turning himself in, Henley took to social media to fire back, blaming the accusations on internet gossip. While he didn't directly address the murder claims, he called the charges against him bullcrap and questioned what crimes he would even need to cover up.
It was all bullcrap. I just need y'all prayers. I need y'all to... I don't even know what to say.
He also accused people of fueling rumors online, saying, All y'all who be sending she around the internet, promoting and listening to what they're saying, all of y'all supporting this. Henley isn't the only one caught up in this. Authorities say they've charged 18 others in connection to the case. That includes Mark Martin, aka Bear Claw, Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, and rapper Termaine Ashley Williams, aka Luce Cannon, who was arrested in Las Vegas for allegedly robbing the marijuana dispensary. Investigators say Williams even admitted to the robbery of the No Jumper podcast before the episode mysteriously disappeared after Henley allegedly issued a cease and desist order. As if that wasn't enough, Henley is also accused of paying a woman $1,000 to transport 3 others from California to Las Vegas for prostitution. This case is shaping up to be one of the biggest gang-related crackdowns in recent years, and with all the allegations flying, it's clear that authorities are looking to make a major statement with these charges. FJ eventually talked to the FBI and straight up admitted to promoting prostitution, even bragging that she was known for bringing the hose, according to Rusa. Later, on a wiretapped call, Henley allegedly mentioned that investigators were planning to hit FJ with ST charges because they had a recording of him saying she could hook them up with women.
Henley's criminal enterprise also engaged in other crimes, including transporting prostitutes across state lines.
Henley didn't seem too worried though. On the same call, he reportedly said, "You gonna get me and say my crime is sending girls money for S? Is that my crime? Adult girls too, you hear me? It's not like it's some kids, not like it's a boy." Now FJ is officially facing charges for transporting someone across state lines for prostitution, but she's not the only one caught up in this mess. Frederick Blanton and Tiffany Hines are facing bank fraud charges. It doesn't stop there. Danavian Hughes, Lamont Green, and Zaire Mitchell, who some might know as the rapper and YouTuber Brick Baby, are all charged with being felons caught with guns. Joshua Halla and Zachary Garcia, aka Z, are dealing with charges for distributing meth and having a firearm while doing it. And Ron Antoine Britton, aka Ronnie Mack, is charged with possessing coke with the intent to sell. Derek Andrew Pollard, aka Grimsky, is in hot water for being a felon with a gun and distributing meth. Meanwhile, the U.S. Attorney's Office in LA says Huo Ken Huyn and Brian Mejia are facing a mix of charges for being felons and undocumented immigrants caught with firearms and, allegedly, running an unlicensed gun business out of a Koreatown shop called New Leaf Clothing. And if that wasn't enough, Tion Jones, aka Blueface, is being charged with having machine guns, while Jaquan Smith, aka JJ, aka Hyde Park Blue, is facing charges for being a felon in possession of ammunition and selling guns. Before turning himself in, Henley went on to Instagram to vent, claiming the feds were arresting people he barely even knew. "What they gonna say?" he asked. "You're ruining people's lives."
And then I'm looking at the people they arrested. How you gonna go arrest people that I don't even talk to? That's a built-in liar right there.
Big U, crimes, and meeting Nipsey Hussle. Big U was a big deal in both the streets and the music industry. He came up in South Central LA, specifically around Arlington, Slauson, and Western. In his early days, he was part of the Arlington Gangsters before eventually claiming Rollin' 60s. From fighting to robbing drug dealers and making big money moves, his reputation on the streets was solid. By the early 90s, he wasn't just a member, he was a leader, if not the top guy in the Rollin' 60s. Big U and Nipsey Hussle were tight at one point, especially when Nipsey signed with Epic Records in 2007. There were plans to drop his debut album, South Central State of Mind, following his popular Bullets Ain't Got No Name mixtape series. But that album never saw the light of day, and things between Nipsey and Big U started going downhill, the growing tension between Nipsey and Big U. The tension really kicked off when Nipsey wanted out of his deal with Big U's label. Nipsey reportedly felt like he was being extorted, while Big U tells a different story. According to him, the beef started over some recording equipment. When Big U stepped away from the music business, Nipsey had some of his gear and Big U wanted it back. He eventually got it and moved to a shop in 43rd Street, making it available to other artists, including Nip, if he still wanted to use it. But Nipsey apparently wasn't feeling the move, and things got heated. The bad blood spilled into Nipsey's music. On his 2010 mixtape, The Marathon, he dropped a track called You Don't Got a Clue, which many people believed was a direct shot at Big U, especially the opening lines.
And I'm gonna stop for you. I built this on my own and everybody know it's true.
Big U's confrontations. Big U didn't take that lightly. Not long after, he and some homies pulled up on Nipsey to confront him. They even tried to take him for a disciplinary session. And let's just say it wasn't going to be a friendly conversation. But before things could go further, Nip's brother, Black Sam, stepped in. He told Big U that Nipsey wasn't going anywhere, which led to some tense words. Big U allegedly told Sam to stay out of it, reminding him that he was never from the 60s, but he also understood why Sam wanted to protect his brother. On top of the music drama, family issues made things even messier. At the time, Nipsey wasn't getting along with his first baby mother, who, by the way, was related to Big U. Nipsey had serious problems with the people she had around their daughter, allegedly involving guns, drugs, and alcohol. Things boiled over when Nipsey reportedly showed up at her place and pistol whipped the guy she was with so badly that he had to be rushed to the hospital. She allegedly got hurt in the chaos too. When Big U heard about that, he confronted Nipsey outside his store and things turned physical. Big U allegedly gave Nipsey a serious beatdown. Black Sam, not about to let his brother go like that, ran inside, grabbed a pistol, and fired a warning shot in the air to break it up. The LAPD pulled up almost immediately, and when they saw Sam holding the gun, they opened fire. But somehow, not a single bullet hit him.
Some sort of shootout with you, Nipsey, LAPD, something?
7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't no shooting. It wasn't no shooting. It was where the police was shooting.
Yeah.
And it was a family dispute.
All three of them got arrested but bailed out the next day. The movement, peace between Bloods and Crips. The tension didn't end there. In 2011, when Nipsey started working with YG, things got even more complicated. Nipsey brought YG, who's from Treetop Piru territory, into the Rollin' 60s neighborhood to shoot the You Broke video.
Louis when your baby need wick, using vibrators when you know you need it.
Big U wasn't cool with that because at the time, it was rare to have Pirus hanging out in the 60s territory. Nipsey wasn't backing down though. He literally had to fight multiple Rollin' 60s members to defend his decision to bring YG around. Despite all the drama, the bond between Nipsey and YG grew stronger. YG even returned the favor by bringing Nipsey to Treetop territory for his I'm a Thug video shoot. Over the years, they became good friends and continued to collaborate on music.
You already know what it is, man. Neighborhood Nip. My bro YG at his video show.
Honey, we out here. I'm a thug featuring Meek Mill.
Nipsey's growing career, accolades, and continuing tension. For the next 7 to 8 years, Nipsey's career kept rising. He even snagged a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album, but behind the scenes, things weren't always smooth. His relationship with Big U was on and off. Sometimes they seemed cool, other times not so much. For a while, it looked like they had patched things up, but when it came to Black Sam, Nip's brother, there was no love lost. The tension between him and Big U never really eased up. Black Sam didn't like the way Big U handled things, and Big U never held back his feelings either, once saying in an interview, "I'm gonna keep it real, me and his brother were never cool like that."
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother weren't the best of friends.
Since getting out of prison, Big U had built a reputation, depending on who you ask. It's either as a community leader or as someone who allegedly strong-arms anyone moving through Rollin' 60s territory. The word on the street is that if you're an artist or a public figure trying to come through the 60s, you had to check in with Big U, and in some cases, pay a tax to keep things smooth. In early 2019, Nipsey, DJ Khaled, and John Legend linked up to shoot the video for their track Higher, and Nipsey brought Khaled to the 60s to film.
You know, this a moment I was proud of and happy for my homie Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? He became an ambassador for Luke Belair.
When Big U found out, he allegedly sent a group of Rollin' 60s members to the set to check the situation. Nipsey stood firm, but the pressure got so heavy that he decided to move the shoot to a parking structure in Inglewood. Around the same time, Nipsey had to increase his security because there were rumors that he was getting death threats, allegedly from the Inglewood families, a major blood gang in the area. Nipsey's death, charges, and conviction. When Nipsey was killed a few days later, the conspiracy theories kicked off immediately. Some people pointed the finger at Big U, digging up their rocky history and even questioning why Big U didn't show up at Nipsey's funeral. Things got even messier when a screen recording from one of Big U's Instagram lives started circulating, where he mentioned getting justice in a way that some fans took as suspicious. The police eventually charged and convicted Eric Holder, a former Rollin' 60s member and someone with ties to Nipsey's first baby mother, as the shooter.
Nipsey Hussle was gunned down in 2019, and today his killer, Eric Holder Jr., was sentenced to 60 years to life.
But in a recent interview, Black Sam hinted that Holder might not have acted alone, which reignited theories that someone else, maybe even Big U, was pulling the strings.
This someone being mad about the DJ Khaled video has to be Big U. Would Black Sam
did. He talked about certain things without talking about certain people.
People speculated that Nipsey's growing influence was rubbing certain people the wrong way and that he was breaking one of the oldest rules of power: never outshine the master. To really get how things got to this point, you have to rewind and take a look at Big U's past. It's been a wild ride, full of ups and downs and everything in between. He did 13 years in prison, and for a lot of people, that could have been the end of the road. But instead of letting it break him, he used that time to reflect, grow, and come out with a whole new mindset.
When I came home in 2004, I would do developing option in the morning, afternoon football, and then at night it was music.
When he got out, he was focused on leaving a real mark, especially in his community.
What did you get 56 years for?
For nothing. They said it was possessive of sales. It was robbery.
Big U didn't just talk about helping, he put in the work. He was all about creating opportunities for young people, offering mentorship, resources, and guidance to help them navigate the streets and life in general.
This is the place where we do all the work to service the community. We'll give you guys a look at what I've done and what I've been up to for the last 16 years or so.
On top of that, he was a major figure in the youth sports scene, especially with the Crenshaw Cougars football program. But it wasn't just about football, it was about teaching discipline, teamwork, and leadership, skills these kids could carry with them far beyond the field.
So I always had a love of football. I studied. My main sport growing up was martial arts, and that's what I did, martial art boxing. And then when I came home, to answer the question, Robert Garrett.
Between his work in music, philanthropy, and sports, Big U's story had all the makings of a classic redemption arc, proof that no matter where you come from, you can turn things around and build something real. But as much good as he did, there was always a shadow hanging over him. Still, despite all the rumors, there's never been any real evidence linking Big U to Nipsey's murder. Big U had consistently denied any involvement, insisting that Nipsey was like a little brother to him. Meanwhile, Black Sam continues to carry on Nipsey's legacy, making sure his vision and mission stay alive. Nipsey Hussle's lifetime. Nipsey Hussle wasn't just a rapper, he was a lifeline for the Crenshaw community, a true leader who never forgot where he came from. He created jobs, backed local businesses, and was even working with the LAPD to find ways to curb gang violence just days before his tragic death. But his influence stretched far beyond his music or his neighborhood. He was a movement all on his own.
Well, the era I grew up in, you know, you kind of had to put your unique ambition to the back. You know, there was a culture around here that it was very aggressive. It was real stingy, just the gang culture.
Born Ermias Joseph Askedom, Nipsey started making noise in the rap game with his independent mixtape, Slauson Boy Volume 1, which earned him local buzz and deals with a cinematic music group and Epic Records. His mixtape grind was legendary. Projects like Bullets Ain't Got No Name, The Marathon, and Crenshaw became underground classics. And the Crenshaw tape, Jay-Z made headlines when he bought 100 copies at $100 each, a bold move that solidified Nipsey's reputation as a hustler with a business mindset. In 2018, his debut album, Victory Lap, dropped and was a massive success, even earning a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album. After his passing, his legacy only grew stronger, with posthumous Grammy wins for Racks in the Middle and Higher. But Nipsey's story was bigger than music. Raised in Crenshaw, he got involved with the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips as a teen. By 14, he had already left home and was hustling on the streets.
I left my house kind of early.
How old?
When I was probably like 14.
Okay, so you were on your own at 14 years old?
Yeah, I was out of my mom's house, you know what I'm saying? I went to live with my granny when I was 14. And out of frustration from not having outlets and having studio access, you know, the culture of my area is the gang culture, you know what I'm saying? So by being outside, being involved with hustling, being in the hood.
Everything changed at 19 after a trip to Eritrea with his father and brother in 2004. It gave him a new perspective and fueled his desire to invest in his community. His stage name, Nipsey Hussle, was a play on comedian Nipsey Hussle, a nickname given to him by a childhood friend who saw how relentless his grind was. Nipsey wasn't just an entertainer, he was a symbol of ambition, resilience, and community pride. He co-founded the Marathon clothing store, turning it into a cultural landmark, and launched Vector 90, a co-working space aimed at giving young people in Crenshaw access to opportunities in science, tech, and entrepreneurship. Whether he was funding school programs, mentoring kids, or using his own story to encourage change, Nipsey was always about building a better future. He was always involved in Destination Crenshaw, a project celebrating Black culture and heritage. And just before his death, he was planning to meet with the LAPD to discuss ways to reduce gang violence. When he passed, the world felt the loss. Fans, celebrities, and even former President Obama paid tribute, recognizing the massive impact he had. His funeral procession through South Central LA brought out thousands, a powerful display of how deeply loved and respected he was. And even after he was gone, Nipsey's influence didn't fade. His legacy sparked gang leaders to call for peace, leading to ceasefires and summits aimed at stopping the violence. In every way, Nipsey Hussle was more than music. He was a visionary, a community leader, and a symbol of hope whose impact still resonates today.